welcome to episode 21 on my women's basketball podcast, Anastasia's scouting report. Okay, so got some good stuff for you. So talking about Dallas Wings' last two games, talking about Atlanta going 2-0 against the Indiana Fever in their last two matches. Also want to talk about the New York Liberty a little bit. Now, if you are brand new to the podcast, I do timestamp these episodes, so go down in the description and so you can find the parts that are most pertinent to you. And then also I have a visual version of this on my YouTube channel, Anastasia25. I have a link for that as well if you want to see all the stats and stuff. But let's get started, okay? So we had a Dallas Wings taking on the Golden State Valkyries. This was in Valhalla. Ultimately, the Golden State Valkyries win this game. Final score was going to be 91-80. Okay, and so we start off with one of my goats, Paige Bueckers. Okay, I got a Paige Bueckers shirt on right here as well. Also, I got my nails done, y'all. Let me show this right now, kind of before I forget and everything. But, you know, you can kind of see it. Got some starters on for 4th of July. I really like the color. It's a plum color. But anyways, so Paige in this game, she played 36 minutes, had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. It was not her best day from the field. You know, and I think that part of that was just like shots that she usually makes just weren't going in for one. Also, too, I think that their defensive plan was heavily on Paige and Azzi as well. So, you know, like double teams, traps, and just like not letting her get to where she wants to get to. And if she did, making her have to take difficult shots as well. And so I kind of knew that that would be what it was going to look like going in. And I make previews for the games to those who do not know. And those are posted on this YouTube channel, Anastasia25, and also on my other TikTok account, Anastasia250_. And I kind of just talk about what we'll see in the matchup. So I wasn't surprised, I guess, in that sense, you know. And I said she would have around 15, I believe, and she did. And so, yeah, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 for 4 free throws, 2 turnover, 4 personal foul, 50.8% true shooting. So, yeah. I think I kind of explained that and everything. She still found a way to be impactful, though. You know, there were some nice shots that she hit in this game. And when we have 8 assists and being a table setter for others, you know, I can appreciate those things. And again, like, the reason I have so much grace for Paige and players like Azzi and stuff like that is 9 times out of 10, like, they're pretty efficient and they have good games and they don't, like, shoot the team out of the game, like, very unselfish kind of players. And just, like, with their track record and their history, like, I know what they're capable of and stuff, so it's really not a habit for them. And also with the way that defenses scheme against them as well, it's just a different thing that they're kind of facing and stuff. And I know that they'll bounce back, and I just have like a lot of confidence. So like that's why, you know, I say those things. So saying that for Paige. Crazy in this game, she played 37 minutes, 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 5 steal, 1 block. Again, not her best day from the field. I kind of just explained that. She had 1 turnover, 4 personal foul. And so, yeah, you know, and I think also something that's frustrating is just the fact that I feel like they could do a better job of setting screens, getting them going, and just finding ways to create easier looks for them as well. And running plays and stuff. So I think those are the things that are frustrating as well, because there's times where like they would both be open and then they're not getting the ball and they're running cardio. So it's irritating with that. But I mean, we have 5 steals and 1 block, so I still left with something. And she just had the most steals in a game by a rookie in the entire WNBA this season with this basketball game here. And she was tied for the most steals and blocks in a single quarter in the WNBA this season with 3 steals and 1 block, okay? Now we go on to Enrique. So she played 28 minutes. She had 21 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and no block. 63.6% from the field. 7 for 11 shooting, 3 for 3 from the 3-point line, 4 for 4 free throws. She had no turnover, 2 personal foul, 82.3% true shooting. So yeah, she shot the ball well and everything. And y'all know how I typically feel, so I'll say those things. It's just still the defense and the selection. Y'all know how I feel generally, but she shot the ball well, and it was actually an efficient game, which you really don't see for her. Jessica Shepard, she played 33 minutes, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, no steal, no block, 53.8% from the field, 7 for 13 shooting, no threes, no free throws, no turnover, 3 personal foul, 53.8% true shooting. So yeah, I feel like, you know, obviously she was efficient in this game. In the beginning, she was hot, so we were kind of just feeding her, and it's like if they can't stop her in the post, then you just keep spamming the same thing, right? And so for the most part, she did some good stuff in this game. She had a double-double, but the defense in the post by her is just terrible. This is some of the worst defense ever. And again, I always say this, it's the thing that she has to work on. It's just so bad at this point. We continue on. Sug Sutton, she played 13 minutes. She had 9 points, no rebound, 2 assists, no steal, no block, 75% from the floor. So she definitely had her moments in this game, you know, I'll say that. And she played 16 minutes. She had 5 points, 3 rebound, no assists, no steal, 1 block, 50% from the field. And then, you know, she had her moments as well. I kind of would have liked to see her play some more time and everything. But, you know, maybe she was on a bench restriction. I don't know. Zaza, 6 minutes played, 2 points, 2 rebound, no assist, 2 steal, no block, 33% from the floor, not great. Maddie, 7 minutes played, 1 point, 2 rebound, no assist, no steal, no block, 0% from the floor. I mean, the stat line shows it all. It's really been a bad stretch for Maddie. Allwalk, 24 minutes played, 3 points, 2 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, no block, 33% from the floor. Yeah, I was not moved by Allwalk's performance at all in this game. Like, defensively, it just wasn't hot. It wasn't hot, and we really needed her for the defense, and then we only had 3 points on 33% shoot. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. I was frustrated. Alicia Clark did not play. Costanza did not play, Leah Rue did not play, and Odyssey still out with that left ankle. Now we go on to the Golden State Valkyries, okay? Veronica Burton, she played 33 minutes, 11 points, and 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 37.5% from the field, 3 for 8 shooting, 2 for 3 from 3, 3 for 3 free throws, 2 turnover, 3 bursts of foul, 59% true shooting. So yeah, like I say, her efficiency leaves a lot to be desired this season. She's shooting like 30-something% or like 40% from the field. And so like the efficiency, and I feel like some of it, the shots that she takes and something she calls her numbers. So I still think that those are true. She's kind of limited as a shot creator. I'll say those things. And so you say those things, but also having 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. So she definitely found a way to be impactful. I'll put it that way. Gabby Williams, she played 29 minutes, had 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, no block, 43.8% from the field, 7 for 16 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 9 for 12 free throws, 2 turnover, no personal foul, 58.7% true shooting. So yeah, not an efficient outing for her either, but you know, for the most part, she did well in this game. 25, 3 and 4, and also having some really good moments on defense in this game too. So she was able to do her thing for sure. I'll say that. Caitlin Chen, 25 minutes played. She had 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, no block, 70% from the field, 7 for 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 0, 1 free throws, 2 turnover, 3 personal foul, and 71.8% true shooting. Okay, so yeah, I think she's really improved. You know, she had a stint in Prague, I believe, a stint in Athletes Unlimited, so you see the decision making improving and her reads and stuff like that. So it was a really good game for her, just taking what the defense gives you. And then everyone else, Kayla Thornton, she played 29 minutes, had 8 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, no steal, 1 block, 28% from the field. And so the efficiency is not great. Talked about Caitlin Chen. Tip Hayes, 10 minutes played. She had 10 points, no rebound, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 75% from the field. We'll say her 3-8. Her 3-8. Kyla Charles, she played 22 minutes. She had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no steal, no block, 33% from the field. Salon, 20 minutes played. She had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 42% from the field. So, yeah, Salon defense be so bad. Okay, it really does. Like, someone tried to tell me she was good on defense. Let's be for real. And then Kia Stokes, 21 minutes played. She had 2 points, 7 rebound, no assist, no steal, 1 block, 50% from the field. Me here, 3 minutes played. She had no points, no rebound, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 0% from the floor. Xana Lassini, 9 minutes played. She had 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, no steal, no block, 33% from the field. Okay, we look at the box score. So first quarter is going to be 26-17. Second quarter 7-27. Our second quarter was really bad. And then the third quarter 29-20. Fourth quarter 18-27. The Valkyries win 91-80. And so biggest leads, we had a 12 lead in the first and they had a 12 lead in the fourth. And then we go on to runs. So Valkyries had a 33-10 run. Second quarter, a 12-4 run. In the third quarter, a 15-5 run. In the fourth quarter, best player streaks, Enrique with 8 and Solon with 7. Now we go into head-to-head metrics. So we shot 30 for 64 from the field. Not our best shooting night, 46.9%. And 9 for 22 from 3, 40.9%. 11 for 16 from the free throw line, which is going to be 68.8%. We had 8 turnovers committed in this one. 32 rebounds. So the rebounding, we got crushed. I rebounded by 15. 19 assists. And then we had 3 blocks, 23 defensive rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, 21 points off turnovers, 32 points in the paint, 9 fast break or transition points, no second chance points, 10 steals, and 20 personal fouls. The Valkyries shot 29 for 63 from the field, 46%, 12 for 25 from 3, 48%, 21 for 27 from the free throw line, 77.8%, 13 turnover committed in this one, 47 rebound, 20 assists, 3 block, 32 defensive rebound, 9 offensive rebound, 10 points off turnovers, 32 points in the paint, 6 fast breaker transition points, 13 second chance points, 4 steals, and 14 personal fouls. Okay. And so my overall takeaways on this one, we started off well. You know, we got us to a lead. I think we had like a 12-point lead or something like that. Like I said, they couldn't stop Jessica Shepard. There was moments where they were playing some zone. The 2 ways you beat zone is you hit the threes or you get the ball in the post and you score because they're just trying to clog the paint. And, you know, I thought they did a good job of that, but we were capitalizing and, you know, taking what the defense gave us. I also thought that we were playing some good defense in the beginning of this game and not letting them get the shots. So they wanted to, so I like that. And so then what happened? They adjusted, you know, and we choked. You know, our defense was terrible. We couldn't seem to score. Like I said, only having 7 points in the second quarter. It's just terrible at the end of the day. And when you get outscored 27-7, I mean, that's just tough. So, like, you have those things. And then we went into halftime in a deficit. We come back. We go on this 8-0 run. So it's like, okay. And, you know, every time it seemed like we could get something going, they always seemed to have an answer, you know. And we couldn't get stops, you know. We were close there in the fourth quarter. I don't remember exactly what the score was, but we just couldn't score and couldn't get enough stops. At the end of the day, you foul, you send them to the free throw line. And then, you know, I feel like we had some great looks and they just didn't go in. I think that happens sometimes too, but I feel like generally they played pretty good defense. And like I said, the goal was to take Paige and Azzi out of the game for the most part, and I feel like they did that, making them have to take, you know, difficult looks and all that stuff with the coverages and stuff. So, like, I knew that they were going to do that, and they did do that in the game. And then, we got out rebounded by 15, which is terrible. And I feel like we don't have go-to plays when things go wrong, so we need those things. His rotations, I feel like, were pretty questionable in this game. I feel like we didn't have enough energy offensively or defensively. Like, it was just bad. It was a bad watch. And so, yeah, like, we cut it to 4. I forgot about that. And they went on a run. And it's just, I think that's the most frustrating for me is the fact that we're not consistent. I mean, I talk about this every single week, talking about, the team and things that I like about the team and things I'm happy about. But it's just, I know it's always going to come back around. Like, we'll play well in one game. We play terrible in the next game. So I think that's the most frustrating part is we don't have consistency. Part of that's the coaching and part of that's the personnel. It's just not good enough at the end of the day. And so, yeah, we didn't execute on both ends. Our defense was food in the paint, okay? Multiple times we late to rotate. We giving up layups. We gave up 12 threes in the game. You're not going to win with that as well. And so, yeah, like, shout out to Natalie Costing the game plan. But that was a tough watch. Like, I'm not going to hold y'all, was not pleased with that game. And then we have Dallas' most recent game at the time of the recording of this episode. So we had them taking on the Chicago Sky at home. Ultimately, Dallas Wings win this game in a close one, 93-92. And so we start off with Paige again. So in this game, she played 36 minutes, had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, hashtag table setter, hashtag PG1. And she had 2 steals and 1 block. Not her best day from the field, but we still made something shake. And 4 for 4 from the free throw line. She had 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul, 53.5% true shooting. Okay, and I got to show this too. But Paige Becker is with the perfect 4 quarters. She had 10 points, 2 assists to no turnovers, and 100% from the field. She took 4 shots, made all of them. She made the free throw, which was clutch, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Like, and my overall takeaways on Paige in this game is we love to see it. You can tell Paige needed this game and she needed this moment after the game. And in the post-game interview, like, she was emotional, kind of just talking about how much it meant to her to kind of get this win and saying that she didn't play her best and all those other things. And so it was just great. And there's just been so much discourse with her after the past few games and everything since she's came back from. And again, I think that stuff is stupid when you say that you're a Paige fan and then you go out of your way to hate on her and say a lot of the stuff that the haters say. And then you wonder why the conversations are the way that they are. Like, you don't have to say all of your thoughts. And I know I say this all the time, but like, you can literally keep those Indians. Like, you don't have to say everything. And they really think that they're doing something. And they think that they know more about basketball than Paige Beckers. It's just weird. And so, yeah, just to see her, have that confidence in the fourth quarter to continuously call her own number and to make those shots was huge. Like that 3-and-1 that she had when Natasha Cloud fouled her, you had that. Also forgot to talk about this one early in the game. But that and-1 that she had on Hawkes, that was a difficult shot. The way that she was falling and the strength to get that shot through reminds me of one I saw with Sabrina. She literally fell on the floor and somehow the shot went through. Like, the strength to get that to go through, that was insane. That was insane. So, and we love those things. And again, I don't know why people try to say that Paige is a clutch. We have multiple examples of her being clutch. We're talking about the 40 piece that she had her last season at UConn against Oklahoma. Like, they don't win the chip without that game. We talk about NC State, the Elite Eight game when she had 12 points in regulation, 15 in overtime. The clutch 3 that she hit against Tennessee, I think that was her freshman year to win the game. And then there was that whole game against South Carolina, I believe, her freshman year. Didn't she have like 30? Like, she had a really good game. In overtime period, she was also very clutch as well. That 3 that she hit that went up and then that went in as well. So I think those are some examples of her, like, being really clutch and stuff as well. I remember last season whenever she hit that 3 to send it to overtime against the Mystics, and she literally had the only points in overtime. Like, she was exhausted. And then I'm also remembering when she literally almost single-handedly brought us back against the Aces. How much were we down? Like 15, 20, something like that. And she was a huge reason why we came back into the game. So, like, there's multiple examples of her in her career being clutch, calling her own number, and making huge shots. But nobody wants to talk about those things. And people acting like Paige is a choke artist and all those other things. Like, it's just irritating. Like, Paige knows when to call her own number and, when to take over in the games and stuff as well. And so, yeah, I was just happy to see this moment for her. And most importantly, for it to be in a win, And I will say this as well, but, like, so many times last year, she's carried us on her back and we couldn't win the game. The 44 piece, the 35 piece. So I think that's also why people kind of don't talk about, like, Paige being clutch and like how big that Paige is in the games and all that other stuff, because we didn't win the games and everything. Like, she's only one person. She can only do so much, but it was a great fourth quarter. It was a great fourth quarter. So she really did her thing. It was so cool to see that in real time and everything. And yeah, like, y'all gotta shut up. Like, y'all don't open your mouth about the best. Okay. That's what Richard Sherman said. And it applies to one Paige Beckers. Okay. This demon. And also being a table setter for others, okay? When we had 8 assists, like, the assist to turnover ratio for Paige right now is so good. She has 92 assists to 29 turnovers. And she's played, I think, 15 games, 16 games. Like, elite at taking care of the ball. So, love to see those things and just the way that she plays the game as well. But I had to say that for Paige. Now we go on to one Azzi Fudd. So in this game, she played 34 minutes. She had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 4 blocks. Not her best day from the field, but we made something shake as well. We got double figures. I can always work with that. And 1-for-1 free throw. She had 2 turnover, 3 personal foul, 48.4% true shooting. Now I'm going to do a couple things for Azzi. So it said Azzi Fudd for all defense, and it's just her stats from the game. And it said Azzi Fudd becomes the fastest player in Wings history to reach 20-plus steal and 20-plus three-pointers made. And this one, it said following up a 5-steal game with a 4-block game. This is not normal for a rookie. And that she has the longest double-digit scoring streak by a rookie. And she leads all guards in blocks this season, okay? So those are just some things for Azzi as well. And I will say this, at the end of the season, her stocks, which is the steals and blocks highlights and the defensive highlights, gonna go crazy, okay? I told you about my mutual on Twitter who makes them thirsty. I always have that link down below in my videos now, and I'll put that on the screen. And then I've been putting together the stocks ones as well. So I did it for like her first 8 games, and then I think I just did it for like her last 5. So that's on my TikTok account, Anastasia Loves Hoops. And that's also on Twitter if you guys follow me at @Anastasia25. Again, those things will be linked. And I said I have not posted them on my YouTube channel, which is also Anastasia Loves Hoops, because I want to do it for the entire season. I want to put everything together. I want it to be one video succinct. So that was really the goal. So it's either that or I do it all the way through All-Star break and everything. So that is definitely something that I'm continuously working on for Azzi. I'm also doing field goals made. I am doing her threes. I'm going to do her assist as well, okay? Same things for Paige. Same things for Paige. So that's just something I'm continuously working on, and I'm posting clips and stuff. I just posted Azzi bag work on TikTok, and that did well on Twitter and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to continuously do that and try to highlight them as well. But what she's doing for a shooting guard is not normal, and that's why I made the Kawhi Leonard, comparison in the last episode. And my friend said that, like, other people were saying that too. I'm like, okay, I'm glad that, like, other people are seeing what I'm seeing. Because I really like his highlights and stuff. But like I said, I don't really watch the NBA a whole lot like that. But, like, I know all the top players. Like, I like to watch, like, a lot of old highlights and stuff like that. And just, like, with what he's accomplished in his career. I think he's 2-time defensive player of the year. I think I got that wrong on my last episode. And, like 2 times final MVP. Like, I don't know. I just see some similarities and stuff. But I just think she does so many things well. Like those threes that she hit, like that one at the end, like that was really clutch. Like that was a big 3 that she hit. She had a layup at the end. And then the Beckers to Fudd for 3. The pull-up midi is cash as well. I know I say like a lot of the same things, in these episodes and everything. But it was just good, And yeah, and I would have liked to see them get her more looks for sure, and it's just frustrating in the game seeing her run cardio so much, and then he puts her with bad lineups, and he's taking her and Paige out at the same time, so I definitely get frustrated by those things 100%. So I'll say that, but I think she definitely did her thing in this game for sure. And, like, her impact and how much she carries the defense, a lot of it doesn't show up on the box score. So we say that. Also, I got to say this as well to put it into perspective for Azzi and how good she's doing defensively this season. But she has 22 steals and 18 blocks in 15 games played. So 15 games and you have 40 stocks. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, Azzi for all defensive teams. And that's what we got to do, the groundwork. And that's, like, half the reason I make videos in the first place. Because, like I said, my faves, I just got to let them do their work in the games and do their thing. And I'm just talking about how good they are. So most of the work is already done for me before I press record, like I've said before and everything. And so, like, with the videos, that's for one, and then also posting the highlights of it. Like, I'm posting the stuff that I want to see. I'm pushing. I always push in, my campaigns. And I want to do some defensive highlights for Angel. I want to do her stock so far to season 2. So that's something that I definitely would like to work on as well. But yeah, like, as a shooting guard, bro, like, it's absolutely insane. Okay. And then we go on to Enrique. So she played 32 minutes. She had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, no block. 36.4% from the field, 4 for 11 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 1 for 2 free throws, 1 turnover, 2 bursts of foul, 50.5% for shooting. Like I just kind of said, y'all know how I feel about Enrique. It's just the same thing. Like, we got to trade her from the team. Like, I'm just not moved by her style of play. And it's the same every season, no matter who she plays with. Jessica Shepard. So in this game, she played 34 minutes. She had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, no block, 50% from the field, 7 for 14 shooting, 0-1 from 3, 7 for 8 free throws. She had 4 turnovers, which is just backbreaking, 1 personal foul, and 59.9% true shooting in this one. And so for me, with Jessica Shepard in this game is, like, we finished with a good stat line, but for me, she had to pass the ball more. There were so many times where she had shooters open in the corner, and we're going and being in the post with Camilla and taking difficult shots when we don't have to do that and stuff. And Jess is at our best, and we're at our best when we're using her, like, as a hub and everything. So, like, our guards can cut, and she's kicking out to the guards, and they're finding her, and having her rim run and, like, all those other things. Like, it's a mutually beneficial thing. So I just didn't like the fact that she took 14 shots in this game, even that she took 13 shots in the last game. Like, I don't even know. Like, field goal attempted should be, like, 10 and under, okay? And so, yeah, I was not feeling that. So many times we had bad decision-making in the game, and I was not feeling that. And then also her defense was terrible, okay? She could not defend Camilla. She couldn't defend anybody, and it's just so bad. So, yeah, she gotta play how she's been playing, and, like, all of this, I'm not feeling how she's been playing recently in the games. A lot of people shared a similar sentiment. We're not doing that again. Like, I really do not. Only 3 assists is really weird for her. Then we go into Leah Rue. So she played 15 minutes in this game. She had 5 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 50% from the field. Now, you know, I think she did some good stuff in this game. And he played her a lot in the first game because we couldn't really stop Camilla, you know, and so he brought her back out again. I kind of had a feeling that he would do that, and so her size was definitely able to bother Camilla a little bit. And that moment at the end, whenever she got her to have, I think it was like that backcourt violation, like that was a key thing in the game that got us to win the game. She also had the game-winning free throw, so she definitely did multiple things that contributed to winning. And we also have 6 rebounding, you know, and just coming and doing her thing, kind of like Paige said, the fact that she hasn't really played a whole lot for us this season, you know, and the role's been inconsistent, but she came in, you know, when her number was called and she came through. So I appreciate Lee for that, because that was a big part in us winning the game and stuff as well. Now we're going to Maddie Siegrist. She played 12 minutes, had 9 points, 3 rebounds, no assists, no steal, no block, 50% from the floor. So we were efficient with the shots. I still think that there are some times where she takes some bad ones and the defense is bad. That's why her minutes have just been cut down a lot. So like I said, I really could see her being traded, because when we're playing 7 minutes a game, 12 minutes a game, I don't know. I don't think Jose's feeling it either. And then Zaza, 6 minutes played. She had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 66% from the field. And Shook Sun, 13 minutes played, 4 points, no rebound, 1 assist, no steal, 1 block, 66 or something on the floor. She had moments, but I didn't really feel her impact that much in this game. And my friend was kind of telling me, like, what's the point of getting her if Paige is going to be bringing up the ball most of the time anyways when they're on the floor together and stuff. I could see that argument. I won't lie. And then Lan, 5 minutes played. She had 3 points, no rebounds, no assist, 2 steal, no block. Was that 100% from the field? She had some good moments, but then she got hurt again in her face. And so she didn't finish the game. And so I feel bad for her, because like I said, people are like shitting on her. But again, like, a lot of it shows y'all didn't watch the preseason games and y'all didn't watch her stint in Minnesota. So y'all don't really get what she's capable of. And she's literally injured. It's not like she's fully healthy and doing this and everything. So like, just the context, and she's had moments in the game. So it's just like she can't catch a break. Awak, 14 minutes played. She had 3 points, no rebound, no assist, no steal, 1 block, 25% from the floor. So yeah, I was not pleased with the showing. She fouled out in this game. Okay, so it's just not enough discipline on either end. And I just feel like it's really hard for her to guard players like Camilla, because Camilla's kind of like stockier, you know what I mean? And I feel like Awak works best guarding lankier people like her, kind of like Asia, you know? And Asia's still strong, but I'm just saying, like, the build is different. So I think that's why she struggled with that matchup. But it was just bad. You know, we were 25% from the floor. Cassandra did not play. Odyssey did not play. Alicia Clark did not play. And now we go on to the Chicago Sky. So Skylar Diggins, she played 32 minutes, 14 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, 3 steal, no block, 40% from the field, 4 for 10 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 for 6 free throws, 3 turnover, 3 personal foul, 55.4% true shooting. So she definitely had her moments, you know, where she had some big shots in this game, and then other times, you know, she just missed. It happens as well. And I thought that she had some good moments on defense with 3 steals. So just doing everything that she can to keep her team in the game, and I appreciate her fight, her mentality. Camilla, she played 29 minutes. She had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, no steal, and 2 block, 76.9% from the field, 10 for 13 shooting, no threes, 6 for 10 free throws, 4 turnover, 6 personal fouls, 74.7% true shooting. Okay. So for the most part, Camilla had a good game. You know, all they had to do was just get her the ball in the post and let her work. And, you know, our post players were really food at defending her. So that was just something that was easily going to work for her, and really went to town and did her thing. I mean, she only missed 3 shots the entire game. The missing 4 free throws, that definitely is backbreaking for sure. Also the turnovers and the fact that she fouled out at the end of the game. And, you know, she was crying out at the end of the game, and it's just like, damn, like, Chicago was just a bad situation. And, like, she really put it on the floor in these games. She really put it on the floor in the game. Because what I be saying about Camilla, she don't be giving 100% in the games. And, like, if you watch the game, you know what I mean. But this one, she really gave her all. And to, like, foul out and all that stuff. And, like, yeah, that was the whole thing. But, you know, she had a good game. And I feel like I predicted that she might, because she really whooped us the first time. Now we go on to everyone else. Okay. So, Azzi, 28 minutes played, 8 points, 11 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steal, and no block, 27% from the floor. So, yeah, it was not her most efficient outing. Natasha Cloud, she played 25 minutes, had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, no block, 30% from the floor. I said this watching the New York stint last season, but Natasha Cloud gotta retire. She gotta hang it up for me, Natasha Cloud, Wash, and everything. And you may think that that's harsh of me for saying that, but I'm telling y'all, please watch the games. Watch the bad shots that she takes, the bad decision making, and all of that stuff. Like, it all culminates into this moment here, because multiple times in this game, calling our own number, taking bad shots when we don't need to, the decision making, and I mean, even that inbound at the end, like, she botched that as well. Okay. And then I saw this after the game, but her kicking our stuff after, because she was mad, like, you don't own that stuff. Okay. Like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling, like I said, I have not been feeling Natasha Cloud's play style since last season, and this season it's more so of the same. And she's talking about, I didn't want to come to Dallas because I'm not ready to come off the bench, to coming off the bench. I don't know. 30% is crazy. I don't know. For someone with her experience and her caliber, like, that was something that was botched. I also forgot to talk about Skylar's turnover at the end. Like, she botched that as well. So, yeah, they both made some mistakes, like people said. Hawkes, she played 25 minutes. She had 6 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, no block, 42% from the field, so not her most efficient. Taylor, 25 minutes played, 18 points, 2 rebounds, no assists, 1 steal, no block, 46% from the floor. And so, you know, she had a good game. She had some really big shots, and she did foul out at the end of the game as one. She wants to say that there was questionable calls, body officiating, and all those other things. Didn't they have more free throws than us in that game, for one? And then for two, they had like a 14-point lead or something like that, and they choked the lead. Or was it 16 points? They had a big lead, and they choked it, is the point. So you blaming the refs because y'all couldn't hang on to a lead. And they'll did the same thing versus the Liberty. So please, like, it's our fault. Okay. You know how many times we've been on the wrong side of the refs? Like, we found a way. We had to grit and grind to get that one. So please. And then Ewell, 11 minutes played, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, no steal, 1 block. I think that's 100%. So had a few good moments. JC Selden, 15 minutes played, 6 points, 2 rebounds, no assist, no steal, no block, 66% from the floor. Maddie Westbell, 10 minutes played, no points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, no steal, no block, 0%. Poffenbarger did not play. Rachel Bannon did not play. I mean, she was only going to go in and hit a gimme 3 if we're going to keep it real. Corner Vandersloot out, Rakia out, Dejanay out, and Kublai out. Now we go on to the box score for this game. So first quarter is going to be 28-16, second quarter 15-22, third quarter 28-19, fourth quarter 21-36. Ultimately, Dallas Wings win this game 93-92. And now, biggest leads, Chicago had a 17 lead in the third quarter. We had a 1 lead in the fourth quarter. Literally did not lead until the end of the game. Runs, Chicago had a 13-2 run in the first, an 18-6 run in the third. We had a 21-7 run in the fourth. And best player streak, Sydney Taylor was 6, and one Paige Beckers was 6 as well. So we love to see it, okay? Head-to-head metrics in this one. Wing shot 33 for 73 from the field, which is going to be 45.2%. We shot my birthday from 3 October 25th, save the date, hashtag Scorpio season. And so it's going to be 40%. And then 17 for 21 from the free throw line, which is going to be 81%. 14 turnovers, which is way too many. 42 rebound. We got out rebounded, 17 assists. We did not share the ball enough. We had 7 block, 26 defensive rebound, 9 offensive rebound, 25 points off turnovers, 38 points in the paint, 15 fast breaker transition points, 17 second chance points, 7 steals, and 23 personal fouls. For Chicago, shot 33 for 70 from the field, 7 for 23 from the 3, which is going to be 30.4%. 19 for 29 from the free throw line, 65.5%. 15 turnover, 49 rebound, 22 assists, 3 block, 30 defensive rebound, 13 offensive rebound, 18 points off turnovers, 48 points in the paint, 9 fast breaker transition points, 10 second chance points, 9 steals, and 24 personal fouls in the game. Okay, and I saw this on Twitter, and I would agree, but it said Dallas has to be a buyer at the deadline for a wing, and I would agree. And we just signed Haley Jones. My quick takeaways on that. That's it, okay? And mind you, this is a developmental contract, so developmental players can only play like 12 games, I believe. So maybe they're going to give her a free trial, let her play in the game, see if it works, and if so, waive someone else off her roster and add her. But like, I just don't think that that's going to be enough. I just don't think that that's going to be enough at the end of the day. My friend said this, I wish we could get Sonia. Probably not going to happen, right? But I don't know, like, she can do some good stuff, but the defense is just not where we need to be, you know? And I feel like she fouls too much. So with that move, I'm just like, I'm not feeling that inspired. Like, he has to make some trades. He can't keep sitting on his hands and think that little moves like this is going to be enough at the end of the day. Let's make something shake her. And so, yeah. Now I'll go into my overall thoughts on this game. So I'm glad that we won this game. You know, the morale was really in hell after what happened the last game, how terribly that we played. And we just had some bad losses this season. The game against Portland when we lost by 1, us getting blown out by the Minnesota Lynx as well. Like, bro, it was some tough times that we were dealing with in the games and stuff. And so, yeah, morale was in hell. So I think for that, it was good to win. It was definitely an ugly win. And I got PTSD from last year. And I just hate that we keep getting ourselves in the positions with the close games. I just think we've been on the wrong side of it too many times, and that's why I get nervous, and I just don't like to be in those positions. It's very stressful. And you know, just generally, like, watching this game, I just felt like my eyes were bleeding with what I was seeing on the screen. Just like offensively, defensively, the execution things, the little things that we're not doing, the things that we're giving up. So it was just really painful to watch. And, you know, in the beginning, not even enough timeouts to stop the bleeding. No Beckingham, an all-timer quote. And, you know, I just feel like the defense in the paint has been food all season. It's something that I've complained about. And we need a real rim protector, bro. Awak has just not been consistent in these last few games. And I thought she was going to be good every other game, which is still a problem because we need her to be consistent. But when you go and you fell out of the game, it's just not it. Jessica Shepard is terrible on defense. Land got injured again. So it's just like we really don't have what we need to protect the rim. And I just think that that's something that we've been struggling with and that we're going to continue to struggle with. So he has to figure something out. And Lee's not the answer for that either. So, yeah, like Camilla completely fried us in this game, and that's why it was way closer than it should have been and everything. And there's multiple times like that back line is terrible. Most of the time I'm talking about Jessica Shepard, when you're consistently late to rotate, just being upset with those things, you know what I mean? And we go under the screens, we're getting beat. It's not there. It's not there. He's not utilizing everyone right. The defense is just not it. And a lot of that goes back to us not having the right personnel. I'm sorry. So I'm not moved by that. And it's just bad for us. Like, we were just getting our ass beat in the beginning, and it's like we were turning over the ball. We couldn't seem to make any shots. I feel like Jose's rotations were awful in this game yet again, because he always subs Azzi at the worst times. I swear she just hit a 3 in the game and then he subbed her out. Why would you do that? And sitting her for long stretches of times. And I forgot to say this, but when Azzi gets subbed out, the other team goes on a run as well. It's kind of like Angel. And so you can kind of just see that impact in real time as well. And so being frustrated by those things, I just hate to see that continuously as well. And like I said earlier, him subbing out Paige and Azzi at the same time is just stupid. I don't know why he keeps doing it. It's not helping the team. So he really has to stop doing those things. It makes no sense. And I'm tired of him having Azzi run cardio, and Paige does at times, and he just needs to set a hierarchy from this offense. And been saying it the whole season, bro. When we get in the big moments, when we get in the clutch moments, Paige and Azzi should be the ones taking those shots. And also, when you look at teams like the Aces, for example, like 9 times out of 10, the first shot in the game that's going to go to Asia, like, they're getting their stars going early and stuff. And so it's just frustrating because everyone thinks that, they the star and everyone wants to take all these shots. And it's like, no, those should be like Paige and Azzi type shots and everything. It's just frustrating. I need Enrique to get off the team because it's not moving me. But not having hierarchy is just frustrating. And, there was a moment, like I said, when Paige took over in that fourth quarter and she had like 2 shots in a row. And then that 3 that Lee took at the end, that was a bad shot. That was definitely a bad shot. And there's some other shots that were taken. I'm just like, why would you not give Paige the ball in the moment? So part of it's personnel and part of it's coaching and stuff. But a hierarchy needs to be established. I'm just tired of it, okay? Again, I kind of feel like there was selfishness. We only had 17 assists on 33 made baskets, I believe. And it's very frustrating. We're taking on bad matchups instead of getting the best shot available. And I don't like those things. And, I felt like we also fouled them too much as well. So not being pleased. I think there was some BS calls. It is what it is and all that. But yeah, and like I said, glad we came back. Paige clutch as hell. And, like I said, we have to make moves with the roster. We have to make some trades. What he's doing now is not good enough. And then also, I feel like Chicago played hard in this game. I definitely want to give them credit because it was an entire thing of like, when I watched the New York Liberty game, when they literally only lost by 1 point and how hard that they kind of had played in that game, I kind of had a feeling. And also with the Atlanta game, like I knew that they were going to play hard. So you got to give them credit. And so, yeah, I don't know. We can be better than this, and just getting tired of complaining about the same things at the end of the day with this team. So we'll see how I'm feeling in the next episode. We're about to play the Seattle Storm tomorrow, so we'll see if I get this out before we play them and everything. I definitely could, but that's just some things that I wanted to talk about for Dallas and everything. And for me, with these podcast episodes, I'm still kind of trying to play and figure out the formatting and stuff because we had played 2 games. So I think if I don't want it to be 4 games by the next time I record the next one because it's just too long, and I want to be able to talk about other stuff and being better about managing time and stuff as well. So I'm still trying to figure out the format, and I can do better, and I'm still trying to learn. So I'll say that. Next up, I want to talk about Azzi Fudd being headed to Project B and my thoughts on that. So I did make a video about this on Real Time, but basically, there's controversy with this entire thing because Project B, they faced controversy due to reports it was funded by Saudi money, a hot button issue in sports. Burnett says the league accepted no Saudi capital and worked with the Saudi Public Investment Fund owned entertainment vendor Sela, but he says that partnership is no longer active. Some people are feeling like, okay, like, you might no longer work with them, but where do you think the money came from originally? Other people are like, they're not involved with them anymore. That's a good thing. And so, yeah, and then people started looking at Unrivaled, where they're getting their money from, and like that was controversial. So, yeah, like a lot of people feel like there's kind of blood money, basically, for lack of a better term, and like everything, there's not really an ethical way. They're going to watch anyways. Some people don't want to watch. I was kind of just like, I don't know if I am or if I'm not, because I don't miss any of Azzi's basketball games. I just love to watch her play the game and all those things for sure. And I would like to learn more information about the situation. But now the more that I think about it, part of me is just like, I might end up watching because I just enjoy to watch her play basketball and everything. And so like that would be my entire reason for watching this thing, because I really didn't have any interest just with what I heard before. And I'm very to the left, and all these things definitely do matter. But with her playing, it could change things. So I want to be open to learning more and stuff. And I don't want to be a hypocrite because, you know, whenever like Lan had said she was playing in Project B, Kelsey Mitchell, like I wasn't feeling those things and everything. So yeah, if they're not involved with them anymore, that is a good thing. But I can also see the points that people are making about rivals funding and also about this. So I think that it's definitely a delicate conversation and stuff. And I completely get why people would watch. I get why people wouldn't watch and everything. Azzi kind of said the reason she's doing this is to basically kind of connect with her international fans and stuff like that as well, and just broaden her experience and go outside of America and like all those other things. And she visited Steph in China and stuff. So you kind of have those things, and you know, she'll get in a experience playing 5-on-5. Some people felt like, you know, why not EuroLeague? Why not Athletes Unlimited and all those other things? And so, yeah, like there's other things for that. Like it'll be interesting to see the formatting and all that stuff. So I kind of see how I feel about it, you know. I'll catch it at this point. That's kind of where I have leaned to the more that I've thought about it. But I would definitely like to learn more, you know. I just feel like it's not cut and dry. Like it's a vague situation and everything. And I can completely understand and respect both perspectives and stuff. And that's why when I made my video in real time, I had to take some time to think about it, to talk with friends, because I just wanted to have a more balanced perspective. But I can see it all, and I will always support Azzi, you know, as a player and everything, and be a fan for sure. So definitely want to say those things. But that's kind of my 2 cents on her joining Project B. So I wanted to say that as well. Okay. And so, yeah, next up, let's talk about the Atlanta Dream and their last couple games. So they played 2 games from my last podcast episode that I did. So we had them taking on the Indiana Fever twice. And so the first game, they win 108-101. Now, this was actually at Gamebridge, okay? So for the big 3, Angel had 21 points, 11 rebound, and 1 assist in the first game. Alicia Gray, 17 points, 3 assists, 3 steal. And Ryan had 16 points, 5 rebound, and 6 assists. For the Fever, Caitlin had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. I'm pretty sure she had like 5 turnovers on the first one. Kelsey Mitchell, 26 points, 1 rebound. She was 67% from the field. I think she was like 10 for 15. She had a good game. Aaliyah Boston, 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. So that's kind of how the big 3 for both teams ended up doing. Okay, so I'm going to go into my overall thoughts for this one. And so basically, I had no faith that the Dream would win. And the reason why is because if you saw the first time that they played each other, the Dream just played scared. You have Caitlin going at you on defensive possessions. Why not go ISO and attack her, get to the basket and score, and also getting her in foul trouble and all those other things. Like, people have been hunting her for a reason. So I just didn't understand that. Didn't shoot it well. They were just doing anything, you know, and it was just frustrating because, you know, Alicia Gray was trying. She didn't shoot efficiently, but at least she tried. Ryan was playing scared, 2 of 9. Like, that was an embarrassing performance by Ryan in the first game. And everything. Angel did everything that she could in the game, you know, and all that stuff. So after that BS, I'm just like, I just feel like they were scared of the moment. When the lights get bright, they can't perform. They lost to them in the playoffs last year. But they came through and they won the game, you know, and why did they win? I feel like they shot efficiently. You know, that's the big thing for the Dream is like, there's games where like they can shoot the lights out, and then there's games where like they shoot really poorly, and when they shoot the lights out, they're hard to beat, you know, but I feel like it's finally taken some time to get to see them actually do that, because most of the games, they start off slow and then they kind of get out at the end. I feel like they don't really start and finish a really solid game. You know what I mean? So they shot efficiently. The big 3 came through. The starting 5 also was in double figures. So like Jordan Canada, Naz Hillman, so those things were helpful. Naz Hillman defense is awful. Aaliyah Boston was attacking her the entire game in the post, and she was successful with that at the end of the day. So for me, it's just frustrating because it's like, why are you not playing Medina Okot? Because her and Angel are the only ones who can really match up with Aaliyah Boston. And then in the first game, Angel got in foul trouble, okay? And she came back and she did her thing, and she was huge in the fourth quarter. I distinctly remember those things, and she didn't pick up any more fouls and all that. So it's like she couldn't really defend her when she came back in because that was going to draw more fouls, and she was just trying to be smart and everything. So why not play Medina Okot more? And I don't know why he doesn't play Medina Okot with Angel. Like, I just don't get why he refuses to do those things. You having Angel playing center the whole season instead of a power forward for Naz Hillman. I just don't get it. And, you know, like, Aaliyah Boston attacked that mismatch every time, and she was doing well with that. So you see those things. Like I said, Angel did her thing, got her touches. Like, the fourth quarter was great for Angel as well. Also, the Dream, they dominated in transition. That's really where they got going. They love their transition game. In the paint, you know, they killed them in the paint. I think it was like 60-46 or something like that. So they really got them in the paint. They got more rebounds in them. They had less turnovers in the game, which is going to help them as well. Also, this time they did what they didn't do the first time. They got Caitlin in foul trouble. And Jordan Canada got like 2 or 3 fouls drawn on her. So, like, that was really smart as well. And scoring and all that other stuff. So like, she got in foul trouble, and then she came back in, and she was basically a non-factor. She just kept deferring to Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, and it's just like, I don't know. I just was not moved by that. It kind of reminded me of the Liberty game when she did the same. And then, I will say that I feel like Carl did everything that he could to lose in this game. I just feel like he is really stubborn. I feel like he don't really be making adjustments in the game. I feel like they came through and they wanted to win because his lineups were very questionable. So I was not pleased by that. And so, yeah, one of the reasons why the Fever lost, Stephanie White was dumb. She used her challenge on Sophie Cunningham, I believe, in the third quarter. So you didn't have it in the fourth quarter. So, like, that was dumb. That was dumb. So I don't really know why you do that. And then Caitlyn went cold in the second half. Most of her damage was done in the first half because they defended her terribly in this game. I forgot to add. And so she was getting whatever she wanted. Her mid-range game was finally like actually coming to fruition, which is something I said that she needs to do. And so you saw her hitting the mid-range, you saw her getting to the basket, you saw the threes. Like, they defended her horribly. So she capitalized the first half, but the second half, I'm pretty sure she was like 2 for 7. She didn't play well the second half. And then the whole team went cold and everything. Because Kelsey Mitchell had a good game, but, like, you kind of saw, like, everyone went cold. And then Fever had a big run. They had, like, a 15-5 run, and they just choked it away. And, like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Fever are better without Caitlyn and stuff? Let me know what you guys think and all that. So, yeah, like I said, Caitlyn checked it into nothing. So, yeah, I just feel like the Dream, top to bottom, they did everything that they needed to do. The Fever's defense was terrible in this game, and then they went cold when it mattered the most. Stephanie White rotations were questionable. So that was kind of my takeaways on the first game. And now on to the second game that they played. And so the stats for the big three for both. Angel in the second game, she had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals. Alicia Gray had 17 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals. And then Ryan had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Wasn't Ryan's efficiency not the best in the second game? Like, I just have, like, the points, rebounds, and assists pulled up. I don't have the advanced statistics pulled up because I'm trying to remember what her efficiency was in the second game. So second game, yeah, she was 6 of 15. So I think she shot efficiently in the first game, but yeah, like, you had those things. Caitlyn in this game had 26 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. She also had 7 turnovers, mind you, and 5 of those were in the third quarter of the game. So I feel like that definitely changed the momentum of the game, and people won't talk about that, but yeah. And then Kelsey Mitchell had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Kelsey Mitchell was like 5 of 13. It was not a great game for her. And Aaliyah Boston had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. She was like 4 of 10. And so, yeah, my overall takeaways on this second game, I feel like it was good food. This was one in State Farm Arena, so you kind of felt the crowd, the atmosphere, and all those other things. And, the Dream got their franchise record for most points scored in the game, so I thought that was cool. And again, I feel like they shot the ball pretty well in this one. And I still feel like there's a lot of room and work to be done and stuff. Like I said, Carl's rotations and, like, all those other things, and, like, they could be cutting more and everything because they really don't do that and stuff, and setting each other up more and everything. So I still think that those things are true, but yeah. Again, capitalize in transition, capitalize off points, off turnovers, and points in the paint again. They only had 9 turnovers in this game, so I feel like they took care of the ball pretty well, and when you take care of the ball 9 out of 10, you're going to win the game. And then the Dream dominated in the second half. I think they were trailing going into the second half, but the second half was theirs, bro. The second half was theirs, bro. Like, if I look at scoring in the second half, they outscored the Fever 28-15. And then in the fourth quarter, they outscored them 29-22. I forgot to talk about the score. The score is 113-96, okay? So, like, we saw those things like 113-96. And so, yeah, they just really took care of business. You know what I mean? And the Fever losing this game, I think it came down to them missing shots. They had some open opportunities. They didn't go in. I just feel like they went cold. Also, they made some really bad mistakes. And the turnovers also killed them generally in the game because the Fever in this game had 19 turnovers. So 19 turnovers to 9. I mean, when you turn over the ball that much, like, there's something like that. And yeah, the Dream dominated them in, like, every single statistical category as well. Like, second chance points 22-13. Like, the transition was really deadly as well because the Dream literally had 20 points in transition there too. So like I said, they got dominated in a lot of the categories as well. So yeah, like, I think that's what it came down to. And then yeah, Stephanie White was doing anything at points, and the most that they could ever cut it down to was 10. They couldn't really take over, and I feel like the Dream, I will say this, I never got to say it, but I feel like they kind of took too long to involve Angel in this game. I feel like until the third quarters when she started getting her touches and stuff, and I feel like they should really play inside out more and stuff. I feel like they live and die by the 3 too much. Generally, the last 2 games they've gotten into paint more, so I'd like to see them continually do that. And so we'll see how everything looks when Bree Jones comes back, because I'm pretty sure she got cleared just to practice, so I really don't know how long it's going to take for her to come back. So like, you had that as well, right? And yeah, I feel like also the Dream defense was terrible in this game and also in the first game. I think I forgot to say that, but they only usually give up 80 points a game, so when you're giving up like 90 something points in the next 2 games, I just think they have to be better. Again, it comes down to the same things of going under screens, being late to rotate, just giving up easy stuff, and every time Angel's on the bench, they always go on a run. So So I think that they have to be better defensively because they just gave up way too much. I don't like the lineup with Ryan at the 4 that I kind of discussed. I don't like when he plays Borlase and Pau Pau at the same time. I don't like the fact that he's trying to have Pau Pau be a point guard when she's a shooting guard and she's at her best as a spot-up shooter. So I also feel like he's using people incorrectly and stuff like that as well. And then he doesn't have a bench, so he's running his starters into the ground every single game. So, like, you think about those things as well. You know, I think that those things are important to know. And Carl is still, like, irritating me, you know, what he's doing with not playing Medina Khan in the game. She played 3 or 5 minutes in the game. And, again, Angel's not getting up. So, I don't like those things. And I feel like they're saving him because they're winning the games. So, I don't even know. And Fever losing because Caitlin has 7 turnovers. I mean, that's not going to help you with 5 in the third. Kelsey Mitchell was off. Aaliyah Boston got in foul trouble in this game. She played 22 minutes. So how are you supposed to help your team when you can't even play in the game because you keep getting in foul trouble? So I think that was also part of it as well. Okay, like she was committing some dumb fouls and they were calling it. And I do feel like the Fever's roster is terrible. Outside of the big 3, what do you really have? Because Monique Billings, I just don't think that she plays her style. It's very run and gun, fast transition stuff. She doesn't play her style and she barely plays in the games. It's like 13 minutes, 16 minutes. Can we also talk about Lexi Holt? I don't understand why she got that contract, and every single time I'd be saying something about Lexi Holt, the Fever fans were like disagreeing with me and stuff. I'm just like, oh, how are y'all pleased with her? Because 3-and-D, but you don't make the threes, and your defense is not that good. Who do you see Lexi Holt actually locking up for real? She got like $800K. I don't understand the contract situations with either of them, and they don't fit on this team. So I feel like quiet as is kept, they both gotta go. They both gotta go. That was a terrible decision by the GM for one. And then I feel like they're also going to need a shooting guard in the draft because I don't think that they're going to be able to pay Kelsey Mitchell and everything. And I think she's going to move on and stuff. So yeah, like the power forward and the shooting guard spot and the small forward spot. I mean, they need everything besides like the 1 and the 5 at this point, you know, because I don't think Kelsey Mitchell's coming back. And so yeah, and the Fever are in an odd place because it's like, I feel like they beat the bad teams, but they can't beat the good teams. You know, they beat the Dream once. They lost against us. Who else did they lose against too? Like, they can only beat the bottom feeder teams like Connecticut Sun and all those other things. So yeah, like, and I just feel like they're not winning games consistently, so it's very up and down with that and everything. And then part of me is just like, how much of this is a coaching issue? Because I feel like people who just blame Stephanie White for everything are lazy at the end of the day, because I don't think everything's her fault. Is there times where she botches stuff? Yes, like I said, with the challenge that she used for Sophie Cunningham and everything as well. But I'm not going to say everything's her fault, because at the end of the day, the personnel isn't great. I mean, you look at the bench, what are you really getting off the bench? So I think that the roster construction isn't great. So I feel like more of the blame should be going on to the GM and stuff. But also, like, we're not running the pick and roll with the Leah Boston and Caitlin because it's too predictable. Just because defenses know that it's coming doesn't mean that they'll be able to stop it, okay? You know, so it just irritates me, some of the stuff that she does, and like, I don't know, like, I can see people having concerns about Stephanie White, but I'm just not gonna say she's the entire problem, you know what I mean? I think there's more, and I think, you know, also with like, I guess Caitlin not buying in and stuff, and like being a defensive liability and stuff, and like the fact that she's been getting in foul troubles in the games, and that she's bad on defense and stuff, and when the big 3 don't show up in the games, they don't win because you don't really have anyone outside of them. So I think that it's definitely multiple things in these games, kind of why they're not winning and stuff. But I do feel like nobody wants to talk about roster construction enough. And a lot of people kind of feel like the Fever need to move on from Stephanie White. And, you know, they need to hitch their wagon to Caitlin and Leah Boston and stuff. But also, I'm just like, if you get a coach that just wants to let Caitlin be Caitlin and play the way that she plays, then you're also going to have to get a way more talented roster to make up for all her deficiencies and stuff. And the things that she can't do to make up for all, like, give additional production offensively and defensively to carry that burden as well. So I don't even know. I think multiple things can be true, but I also don't think that Stephanie White is going to get a championship with this team. I really don't, you know, for her coaching style for one, and like historically when you get leads and you blow them, and then also for the fact that this roster is not good enough. So I don't know. I just think it's lazy when all people do is blame Stephanie White and everything. But yeah, I don't know. The Fever fans be funny. They be mad as hell and everything. So I'll kind of say those things and everything. And it's just so funny. It's so funny how the tables turn and everything. Because like I was talking about last week, I saw them talking about, oh, like if Caitlin was on the Dallas roster, like they would win more games. If Paige was on the Fever roster, they would lose more. And it's like, well, no. Like they play completely different and everything like that. And it's just like last year, y'all didn't want to have those conversations when we talked about deficiencies with the roster and everything. So when y'all are clearly the better team or whatever, it's we're better, y'all suck, da-da-da-da. But then when the other team gets better, like when Atlanta gets better, when Dallas gets better, all of a sudden, these things aren't fair and it's a roster this and da-da-da-da. But y'all didn't want to hear that. Y'all didn't hear that when y'all are up, but when y'all are down, y'all see the deficiencies and the fact that y'all cannot consistently win games. So I think that that's the thing that gets me. And I also did make a video about this, but I kind of just talked about, you know, the Angel and Caitlyn rivalry, quote unquote, and why I feel like it's changed and why it's different now. And it's a long video and stuff, but I feel like I was able to kind of cover, you know, how we got to that point and why I think that everything's different now. But a lot of it kind of goes to Angel being on a better team, you know, and then being able to beat the Fever now and all those other things, because I think that was such a big part of the rivalry where people said that Caitlyn owned Angel and da 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 da. But I have a whole video on that, so check it out on this YouTube channel, Anastasia25, and all that stuff. Also, it's on my other TikTok account, Anastasia250_. So I'll try to have it on the end screen or like somewhere in the cards for this video. But you know, that was a really fun topic to do, and I really enjoyed putting that video together. Also, something that I wanted to add here, I talked about it a little bit on the video that I was referencing that I did, but part of the reason why the Angel and Caitlyn quote unquote rivalry is fading is because Angel has a better team now. You know, the first 2 years Caitlyn had the better team and they were winning more, right? And Angel just had the worst team. And so the media heads and people are using that to attack Angel and talk about, oh, like, Angel just can't lead her team to wins, da, da, da. You put Caitlyn in that situation, they're not winning either. People didn't care about situation when you tried to bring that up, and I also mentioned that for Paige as well. But now that Caitlyn's losing and everything, they can't use that and attack at Angel that type of way. So, you know, they're not talking it as much. And, like, I forgot to say this as well, but my comment section, whenever Angel would have a good game, like, it would be pretty clean for the most part, you know? And it was weird because the Caitlyn fans would go out of their way to hate on her, even whenever she wasn't playing the Fever and she didn't have the best game. So that was odd too. But they can't use that anymore. So now they're starting to talk more about, oh, it's not fair because of roster construction and all that stuff, and it's a team sport. Okay, but you weren't saying that whenever Angel and Paige were losing to Caitlyn. So, like, miss me with that. So they can't use that. And so it's a lot more even playing ground now that Angel's on a better team and they're able to put together wins against the Fever. You know, like, social things have changed and everything. Angel getting more positive coverage. Caitlyn's being seen more for who she actually is and the team and everything, because they were saving her, and you have to have more people to hide the deficiencies. So I feel like that's something that really leveled the playing field and everything as well, because we're getting back to that point and they can't use that. A lot of people were against Angel. And I will say, I don't like that a lot of people were hating on Angel the first 2 years, and now they want to be like, oh, we like Angel now, da 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 da. Like, y'all were the ones talking shit. Y'all wanted to hate and use the me-bound stuff. And now that Angel's in a better situation and, like, she's doing better because of that, now you want to be an Angel side. Like, no. If you a Caitlyn fan, be on that side. I'm sorry. Because I went through 2 years of hell for Angel. I went through 1 year of hell for Paige and everything. And there's still things that both teams can improve. But I will always be fans of them and everything. But y'all were on the up, and now that y'all down, y'all don't want to fight through the tough times and everything. Very telling and stuff as well. So I just think that that's funny, because y'all didn't want to hear when we were talking about roster construction, but now y'all want to talk about that and GMing and teammates and da da da. Stay on that side, because y'all weren't there for Angel, y'all weren't there for Paige. Like, y'all just move wherever it's convenient, and that just shows a lot of y'all that it's not about basketball, it's about a racism thing as well. She was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but now that she's getting compared more to Paige and Olivia and all those other things, and Angel's doing her thing, you really see the mask start to fall. So I wanted to add that in. And so yeah, for the Dream, the same things remain. You know, I think now they're on a good streak, but also you just played the Fever. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can only kind of take that with a grain of salt because of the deficiencies that I explained. Also, their defense is terrible as well. So you have to have those things in the conversation for sure. And so I just kind of want to see how they develop as a team, how they gel, getting Angel more touches. Hopefully Angel can go back to power forward soon. And then we have Bree Jones and like that in the mix. Carl, I don't know. I just feel like he's getting saved by them right now. So we'll kind of see how they go. So there's things I like about the team. And again, there's things that frustrate me, and the same problems with him not playing Medina. So we'll see how it goes. But, you know, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. And I'm happy that Angel and Paige are winning more games this season as well. So you like to see those things. Okay? And so now let's talk about the New York Liberty a little bit. So the last 2 games, they went against Chicago. They win 96-95, and then they went against the Mystics and they win 86-83. Okay, and so my takeaways on the Chicago game, I just feel like they trolled so bad in this game. Like, it was awful to see offensively, defensively. It should have been a blowout with the talent that they have. You know what I mean? They had 14 turnovers in the game. It was awful, and they were really getting belt until Satu checked in and she was able to do her thing and she was able to get them back in the game, and they started playing a little bit better. But yeah, and then No Bet Nigel's definitely hurting them. I don't think she played the last 2 games. I feel like that's worth noting as well. And then I also feel like Sabrina bailed them out in the game too at the end with the layup and stuff, but it just shouldn't have been that close of a game. Marina and Azzi on the floor together at the same time is terrible. It's a no-go for me. Starts all too. The defense was food, and their guard defense is terrible. Sabrina can't guard nobody. Marine can't guard anybody. Azzi can't guard anybody. So why are we continually starting Marine and Sabrina? I'm sorry, you need to start Sabrina with a better defensive guard than that, okay? And this is moments where Bet Nigel and Hamilton not being there is hurting them. But yeah. I feel like Chicago played really hard in this game, so I want to give them credit for that because I just talked about how they played us as well. And I saw this game first, so I kind of knew what was coming in. But, you know, it's just unacceptable the way that Liberty played in this game for the talent they have, and Kristen Marco's a fraud. So there's that. And then before the next game, AJ DeBanza going to the Washington Mystics and the Liberty game was so funny to me because I told y'all this was one of my gimmicks. He literally like Bart Simpson for real. And so when I was watching the game and I saw he was there, it was just so funny to me. So I had to throw that in real quick. And so, yeah. My takeaways on the Washington game, like I said, they lost this game. It was going to be 86-83, but I'm glad that they lost because I mentioned this in one of my reviews, but I feel like that win streak was fake. Okay, like they won the last time they played them, but they didn't have Kiki in that game and stuff. So I can only take it so seriously because for that, and also because it was the Mystics. But I also just feel like this offense has really regressed, you know, from where it started in the beginning of the season, the preseason. It was so crisp, making the extra pass. Like that was some of the best offense I've ever seen. It was kind of like UConn style. It was kind of like our style before VK came and the ball movement died. You know what I mean? Like it was good stuff objectively at the end of the day. And the offense has just regressed so bad, making bad reads, sometimes hesitating, taking bad shots. It's just bad with the offense. Also with this game as well, Sabrina was like 4 of 12 or 4 of 13. She did not play well. I'm trying to give her some grace because she is coming back from the back injury and everything to just kind of get to 100%. So I do want to give her grace for that, but also she is historically just like streaky and stuff like that. And like I said, I feel like Stewie be bailing her out, and also Stewie be bailing John Quill out too. So I think multiple things kind of can be true, you know what I mean? And then just defensively getting beat the whole game. And then she had like 3 assists to 4 turnovers. And so yeah, like those things are bad, but also I'm trying to keep into account the way that she gets guarded and like all those other things. But it was just a bad showing for her. I mean, you can't go 4 of 12, 4 of 13. It's just not good. I don't understand why he played Marine in the clutch in this game, because every single time they need to be serious and go on a run, and I know I always say this, but he subs Marine out of the game. So why would you do that? Like, I just really don't understand those things at the end of the day. And I feel like one of the reasons why I knew they were going to lose this game is because I'm seeing 5 minutes left on the clock, 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, and Marine is still in the game, and Satu wasn't in the game, and Satu's only playing 16 minutes, which makes no sense to me. Okay, people get on Satu for her terrible defense, and yes, she's a terrible defender, but also Marine is a terrible defender too, and Satu is a better offensive player than Marine is. Okay, Marine has those gimmick threes, a couple layups, and a dream, and people are really trying to set up here and give Marine more than like she actually is. Like, Marine's a role player at the end of the day, and she's best coming off the bench. Satu is a starter. Like, I'm sorry, like I don't know why Satu wasn't playing. And then he be having them get into these deficits, and then he has Satu there, and he gives her a shovel and like get us out of it. And I'm tired of it because every time she comes in the game, you see the impact, because they start out with Satu and then Satu helps them. So I just don't understand that. You know, Satu's ability to stretch the floor and being able to score at all 3 levels, and the craftiness that she gets, and she's fighting for loose balls and doing stuff like that as well. So I don't even know. And most of the people on the Liberty can't play defense, so I don't know why Satu gets singled out when everybody besides Stewie, Betnaj, Lenny Hamilton, Leonie Fibich, and maybe one other player can actually play defense on this team. If we're going to be for real. So, like, yeah, and y'all know that I love two-way players. I love defense, and not being good on defense, like, that definitely is something I don't like. But, like, I think multiple things can be true. So I'll say that as well. Satu was great in this game. Stewie had a good game. I like Leonie Fibich here. Jonquil had a double-double, but it was like 10 and 10. And it's just like, I know she's capable of more, and she doesn't take over, and that irritates me. And she was also food in the post. You know, Kiki was having her way. And like I said, you can't start Sabrina Marine. So again, they have too talented of a roster to play the way that they play. Chris DeMarco is a fraud, and I'm just tired of the excuses. I'm tired of the rotations, and I'm tired of it. I was having so much fun with them at the beginning of the season, and it's just, I don't like the way that they're playing right now. I'm sorry, like, you should be able to win more games than this, and that's why they're about to be food, okay? Playing the Sparks tonight at the time I'm recording this, I feel like they should win that game, and then they're also going to be playing the Aces. Those are things that they have coming up, and with the way they're playing, they're not winning a damn thing. You know, I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much. So that's kind of some of my takeaways there. So I think that's going to be it for the episode, okay? And so I know that this might be a shorter one. I'm still trying to find my way with these episodes. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be overly long, like the 2-hour episodes. For me, that was too much. And I don't want them to be too short. I think an hour 20 is what I'm really chasing with these episodes. So I'm just trying to find a way to make them to a point where I feel like they're digestible. Because 2 hours, I don't feel like it's digestible for one. And for two, I hate editing episodes that are that long. So for my sake and for y'all's sake, I've just tried to make the episode shorter, more digestible for those reasons and everything. And also, that's why I've done the condensed things. And I think I've got to a point where it's like, I want to give the detail and stuff, but when I had to cover 4 Dallas games last episode, I'm like, that's too much. So that's why I recorded today, because there was only 2 games. So when I do it like that and there's only 2 games, I think it's just a lot more manageable and stuff to do. And then also I can do a better job of watching other teams and other matchups. I think sometimes it just depends on the matchups. I think there's certain teams I don't like watching, but I can do a better job at covering the league as a whole, because I feel like I really focus on what I know, which is Dallas, which is Atlanta, which is New York. And I watch games for every single one of those teams. And I'm not opposed to watching other teams. Again, it really just strongly depends on the matchup for me, but I could do a better job doing that and trying to do other videos and stuff. And I feel like I talk about this every week about wanting to kind of do more and strike that balance. So I feel like I just have to figure it out when I record these and stuff. In my last episode, I posted like 2-3 days ago, and like I'm already about to post another one either tomorrow or the next day when I record this, and I'm trying to be better about editing it and like managing it. So it's just, I'm trying to find a way to do it all. You know what I mean? And then also, if you guys have like requests for teams that you guys want me to cover in reviews, let me know. Sometimes it depends on the matchup. Some of these matchups I'm not feeling. So I don't know. I think there's times where I could do a better job. I'm just trying to figure it out and what works best and what I want to do, and trying to find a space for this podcast and everything, and just what additional stuff I can add to make this podcast more interesting. So I don't know. We'll kind of see and everything and what I do in my next episode, but I guess that's kind of how I'm feeling now. The time I'm recording this episode, but it was just important for me to get it done now before we play our next game, because, you know, I think it's a lot more manageable. So definitely stuff that I have to figure out and stuff that I have to maneuver for sure. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really liking my new nails. I know I showed them earlier, but I really do like them. I really do like them. Like, it was time to do something different, okay? Like, I do like them. The hair is also popping off in this episode too. You see the hair, like, I got it just right. As someone with curly hair, like, it had to eat. Happy Pride Month. I think I forgot to say that in my last episode, but happy Pride Month to y'all. And then also happy belated Juneteenth. So I wanted to say those things as well. Okay, so we got so much to look forward to and all this stuff. So I'll put my social medias on the screen. My TikTok account's Anastasia250_. At the time I'm recording this, I just posted the video. I was talking about the whole Angel and Caitlyn rivalry, why I feel like it's not the same. So I'm trying to do more stuff on there, because I was just doing my game previews, and I like doing my game previews, but I wanted to do more stuff. You know, I'm trying to grow that account more. I would like to go live. I haven't been live on there in a while, so I would like to do more stuff with that. And then the Anastasia Scouting Report is where I do my game reviews. So yeah, I'm just trying to do more. I would like to go live more. I would like to make more videos. I'd like to make more interesting stuff. I feel like iron sharpens iron, so I'm trying to find ways to get better. I'm trying to learn new stuff about the game, about basketball, and I'm just excited to watch more basketball. I love watching the games, whether that's the W, whether that is Unrivaled. You know, I'm still excited to watch that and all those things, and women's college basketball when that comes back. So yeah, I forgot to talk about this, but Sarah saying that she suffered with an Achilles injury basically the whole season, and Gino working her to the bone, and everyone else, like, he not right for that. Okay, Blanca torn labrum. It doesn't serve me. Like I said, I don't think that the team is going to be as good as people think. Like, I think Elite Eight exit. And people are going to hate on me now, but when that happens, like, don't be surprised. So I'll say those things. So yeah, like, I don't know. There's just so much I want to do in so little time, I feel like. But yeah, that's it for this episode, though. Thank you guys so much for watching it. And if you enjoyed it, give it a like below. It helps me on YouTube. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe to see my podcast on here every single week. Also, if you hit the bell, you get the notifications to your phone when I post. And then, if it's the hype button, it helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you enjoy it, and, you know, pushing out to other people certainly helps. And then in the description, I have all of my other social medias and stuff like that, so you guys can follow me on there as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.